Well, just in case anybody is coming to this video specifically for the jetting specs, if you're doing a HAC delete on a 94 or a 95 Summit, specifically a 583, what worked for me is a 340 in the clutch side, 340 main in the clutch side, 350 main in the mag side, 40 pilot jets in both, running the needle clips at the second position from the top. So top being number one, second one down from there, and then setting the idle to around 1800 RPMs. I'm not too high above sea level here, maybe about 700 feet above sea level for altitude. And I think those settings should work all the way up to about 2,000 feet above sea level. But just, if you're looking for a starting point, maybe start with that, and then just, as always, check your plugs. Now, if you want to see how I struggled to get to that point, stick around and you'll find out. Well, we are finally getting some measurable snow out there. Got about 8 inches between last night and today. We're supposed to get another 3 to 5 tonight, so I'm pretty excited. I'm off work for the next 11 days. So minor work left to do on the Everest yet. I did just go through and repaint the belly pan because that splotchy paint job that was on there was driving me nuts, although I'm not sure this pistachio color is really doing it any favors. That was supposed to be an olive drab, so I'm kind of hoping that it dries a little bit of a different color, but I don't know. I might just have to live with that. But anyway, let's get into what this video is about. Rob, you wanted an update on the Summit? Well, here it is. I had this thing out a couple days ago, running it around the yard, and it's just not happy with the jetting combination that we got in there yet. I don't think it's got anything to do with the can that we put on there. We're still running the stock pipe, so that should all be okay. My guess is just after that HAC delete, we're just running crazy rich. I did never change out the pilots too, and that seems to be where the main problem is. It seems like it's actually fouling plugs at idle before I can actually get into the throttle and open it up. So we're gonna swap those out. I did buy genuine Mikuni jets instead of those Chinese ones. I don't think those were properly marked. So we're gonna swap those out and see if that does us any favors, and then I think we're also gonna go through the rave valves and clean those out just to be safe. But after that, hopefully she should be running good. Once we get that done, we'll put her back together and take her out in the snow and go for a rip. So y'all just sit back and relax. I'm gonna go back to watching John Wick, and I'm gonna get these carbs ripped out, and once they're out, I will meet you over at the bench. This is our clutch side carburetor, which should have a 350 main in it right now. That's what I had written on the carb, and that was the base jetting that I had found on the internet for after you do the HAC delete for sea level. And so that's what I tried there. And this, the spark plug on this side actually looks pretty decent. It's actually a touch on the hot side compared to what I would like to see, so I might bump this back up to a 360. I think that's what was originally in here. But I think we're just going to stick with the 350 for now, and then I want to actually be able to run it long enough to do proper plug chops, because still wasn't able to actually run it for more than like 5 minutes before it was fouling on the mag side. So I definitely just want to start with, I think I'm actually going to leave the mains alone for now, and I just want to swap out the pilots and see if that changes anything for me. Should. Alright, let's see if I can even find a small enough straight blade to fit down in there. That may have been why, now that I think about it, why I didn't do it the first time. Fingers crossed this guy's going to fit down in there. Oh yeah. And also fingers crossed, let's hope that I ordered the right pilots. I got the style right. Holy shit, I'm getting old. Can't read what that says. I think stock the pilots are 60s, and I want to go down. I ordered 40s. So if I'm reading this correctly, this is actually a 75. So going down to a 40 is definitely going to change things, I would think. Hopefully it's not too much in the opposite direction, but all we can do is find out. So I'll send that guy back home, and while I'm in here, I do want to check this, just make sure that it is a 350. I've been known to screw things up before and write the wrong numbers and put the wrong jets in, and never hurts to double check things. And nope, that is a 350, so we're going to stick with that for now and see what happens. Well, let's go for a little night cruise. see what kind of difference this makes, if any. Well, the bottom end definitely seems better, but something's still off. Seems like it's only revving out to about like 7,000, 6,500, 7,000 RPM, somewhere in there. I mean, that could be a gearing thing too, but it's a clutching thing, but it's definitely not running right yet. So let's see if we can do something about that. Well, it's the next morning now. I took the night to think about what I had going on there, went back and reviewed the GoPro footage, and I don't think I ever moved the needle clips from the stock position. They're still probably on the third position, so I'm going to raise the clips to the number 2 or the number 1 spot, probably start with number 2 and then go to number 1, and just see how that affects things up there on the top end. I still think we're way too rich in the top end, so raising those clips and dropping the needles, that'll lean things out, and I'm thinking that's going to solve our problems. I am still going to dig into the ray valves and clean those, but I don't have the gaskets here, and I'm sure if I take those off I'm going to destroy the gaskets. So when I was in the house last night, ordered a set of gaskets for the ray valves, and I might make that its own separate video. I'm sure there's enough of those out there, but hey, what's one more, right? So let's pull the slides out of these carbs, raise the clips, drop the needles, and then rip it around the yard again and see what happens. Yeah, now that it's light outside, you guys can kind of get an idea of how much snow we got. It looks like, I don't know, probably 10 inches, maybe 12 out there total. That should stick around for the next 4 or 5 days, and then it's supposed to get up into the high 30s and rain, so that sucks. It's December 23rd right now, I think, and the trails here in this county can't open until the 9th of January, I think. Landowners are still hunting, stuff like that. So I'm hoping I can load these things up on the trailer, maybe go hit the land and do a little bit of riding out there in the powder before it all turns to slush. Would be nice if it would just get cold, snow, and stay cold. But you can't always get what you want, I guess. So definitely still in the third position there. We're going to move that up 1 slot to start out with, see what that does for us, and that should lean things out a little bit up at the top end. I have a feeling if I go to the number 1 position that's going to be too lean, but I also have a feeling that number 2 is not going to be lean enough, so all we can do is try 1, see what it does, and change it again if we have to. But I think going to second position is probably going to be what we're going to need. So I'm going to move this clip up 1, put this one back in, and then do the other side right away too. Alright, needles are dropped to number 2 position. Let's fire it up and go freeze our asses off, see if it runs any better. I'm actually going to let that sit out there and idle for a bit and let her actually get up to a temperature before I run it around the yard and see if actually being at operating temp makes any kind of a difference for it. I mean, you know, if we're talking health-wise for the engine, you should definitely let these things warm up before you can go, you know, send them up to 8,000 RPM right away. So we'll do that and see what happens. Well guys, I think that was the ticket. Seems like she's running pretty good now. Let's go run her around a bit more and get her up to temp. Temperature gauge just finally started moving right now, so I think she's right about there. Damn, it's cold out there. I think we got her though. Let's check the plugs after she was up to temp. See what they look like now. Alright, so I'm going to show you the clutch side first on the right side here of the screen, and next to it is going to be a brand new plug for comparison. These only have about 5 minutes of ride time on them, pretty much just what you saw in the video there, me ripping around the yard. When I brought this thing out into the yard at first, I forgot to turn the fuel on, and she died on me, and I followed the plugs trying to get it started again. So I had to put a brand new set in there. So like I said, plugs only have about 5 minutes of ride time on them. Gonna have to ride it a bit more, I think, to get a really accurate read, but here we go. So obviously, brand new plug over here and clutch side right here. See, there's a little bit of carbon forming on it already, and it is a little bit more brown in color than the brand new one. I don't think that's running too lean at all, honestly. I think that's going to end up probably pretty okay. I mean, somebody's probably going to chime in and tell me it's on the cold side. Here's my opinion. I think it's probably still on the cold side or on the rich side. If you guys think differently, let me know down in the comments. I am not an expert when it comes to reading spark plugs. I'm just going off of charts that I look at on the internet. I know someone watching this has probably been doing this for years, and you can tell me a little bit better. But anyway, that's clutch side. This is the side with the leaner jet in it anyway. Let's check the mag side and see what that looks like compared to a brand new plug. So, much different story on the mag side. most of the electrode is already black, and like I said, this is the richer side now. We're running the 350 on this side. It was a 340 main on the clutch side. So I think eventually what we'll see on the other side is the electrodes start to blacken up like this one did. Again, not nearly an expert when it comes to plug reading, and I think, you know, if I'm just going off my opinion here, the main thing I need to do is just run this a little bit more to get an accurate reading, but let me know what you think. So before I wrap this up, just wanted to take some time and state that this is not going to be a trail sled, just going to be on private property only. And if I do get the itch to run it on the trail for some reason, I'm going to put the stock exhaust back on there. I know everyone's got differing opinions about cans. I freaking love them. Man, I don't know what it is, but there's just something about that sound that just puts a smile on my face every time I hear it. So I just wanted to take a couple seconds and address that, because I'm sure it's going to come up in the comments, but probably still will anyway. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about jetting or anything like that, let me know. All this information I pulled off of a Do Talk forum, or maybe it was a Snow West forum, I'm not sure. But that whole hack delete, that's been beaten to death on those old forums. So you can definitely find the information on there. But if you do have any other in-depth questions about it, just feel free to shoot me a question, drop me a comment, and I can always make up a specific video addressing whatever it is you want to see. I'm going to do a hack delete on the other summit that's sitting over there too, so I'll probably do a separate video that's specifically just about that. I think I did address it in one of the other videos about the summit. I think it was maybe the one where I first put the can on here, not 100% sure, but maybe I'll find it and link it in the description. But anyway, now that we got some snow, get out and ride, have a good time. Take care guys, thanks for watching.